Today, I'm gonna be tapping into my inner FaZe clan, and no, I don't mean scamming people with the crypto coin, allegedly. I'm gonna try to beat GTA 5 using only snipers. This was the most requested weapon on my last video. Comment which one you want to see next. Here are the rules, and without further ado, let's get into it. Shortly after Michael gracefully made his way into the vault, a security guard took him hostage. There is no way to kill this guy without using the AR, so we already have to add our first non-sniper kill. Once we get out of the building, we have to fight our way through the initial cops. Since I didn't have a sniper yet, I was forced to wait until Brad and Michael killed them, which took a very long time. That brought us to phase 2, where some reinforcements arrived. Michael did an impression of Michael Jackson, and no, I don't mean doing questionable things with kids. Everything was going fine until I decided to take cover on a truck that had a cop hiding behind it. Oh my god. At the start of my second attempt, I took cover where Brad was in hopes it would make him shoot more. I think it just made him angry because he started firing very close to my head. We eventually made it to phase 2 again, where I noticed this guy. He walked right past Michael and Brad and didn't seem to be affected by their bullets at all. The boys also seemed to be focusing on him more than the other cops, so I started switching to Michael to put him in a better position to take out the others. Unfortunately, Michael must have started taking too much damage because he fell over, and when I switched to him, he died. The third attempt went about the same, except this time Trevor died. This is not fun at all. A few attempts later, I figured out a strategy to speed up phase 1. Michael has 2 spots he can take cover, this electric box and this regular box. If you block one, he will stand up and continuously shoot at the police. After repeatedly failing in phase 2 and slowly losing my sanity, get back up. I deduced that this guy who ran past Michael and Brad was invincible, so I shot him, which allowed Brad and Michael to progress through the rest of the cops fairly quickly. We made our way to the getaway car. When we reached our destination, Brad and Michael were shot by Dave. I guess he must be doing a sniper-only challenge too. Am I right, fellas? Okay. Once I finished prologue, I met with the character who's most like me in the game, Jimmy. We're both fat and have no real prospects in life. He is arguably more racist than me though.
Who you calling the No, I'm not calling nobody. Wait, what the fuck?
After meeting Jimmy, I picked up some snipers on the map and started the next mission. Lamar and I attempt to repo a bike that's in the hood. The bike turns out not to be there and we get ambushed. I was able to clear out everyone in the alley with some quick scopes and no scopes. I felt like I was back in a Black Ops 2 lobby, minus the slurs. Luckily, as we were leaving, the guy arrived on the bike we needed. In the next mission, I snuck into Michael's house to repo Jimmy's car. Once I got in it, Michael popped up in the back seat. As we were driving to the dealership, I accidentally hit and killed a lady. I started trying to find a way to fail the mission so I could restart. Even with me pointing a gun directly in Michael's face, he didn't shoot me. So I decided to go to a police station for help. Surprisingly, they helped Franklin. Oh, wait. Never mind. I redid the drive without hitting anyone and beat up Simeon as Michael. Michael then finds out his son has been kidnapped, but more importantly, the kidnappers are trying to steal his yacht. Franklin jumps on the back and you are forced to shoot a guy that starts attacking him. I got out of the car, shot him with my sniper, and was able to catch back up to the boat. Jimmy and Franklin jumped back in. Unfortunately, Amanda's car broke down and the thieves got away with the only thing that mattered. A while later, Franklin heads over to Michael's place where he overhears Michael say this.
God, stop happening to me. My wife?
He's definitely getting ripped off. I only pay $50 an hour for a guy to fuck my wife. We went to the coach's house to negotiate a better price for Michael, but the coach didn't want to hear it, so we pulled it down. Turns out it was Madrazo's house. He sent some people after us who we were able to kill, but we still had to pay him back. I had to do a few things before getting Madrazo his money. First, I helped Jay Norris with the phone presentation, which he bombed. Second, I got the equipment for the heist. And lastly, I took my son on a bike race. I decided to be a good dad and let Jimmy win the race for once. I was feeling happy. Doing something nice really made me feel good until Jimmy started gloating about his win.
Number 1, pal.
After showing Jimmy why he should never talk to me like that, I got Tracy off of the boat and killed the 2 guys chasing us. Finally, it was time for the heist. We went to the jewel store, and since I couldn't equip any other weapon to break the cases, I let the crew handle all the work. After taking out an innocent pedestrian, the crew headed to the LS River, where I had to snipe cops that were chasing us. It was super easy. I did it on my first try. Then we loaded up the bikes and completed the heist. After that, we met Trevor. Trevor and my stepdad have a lot in common. They both do meth, actually that's about it. Since I knew there'd be shooting in this mission, I went and picked up a few sniper rifles from around the map, then made my way to the bikers camp. This part went pretty smooth, except for a truck running me over. I took out the bikers, then went over to Ortega's trailer. I pushed it in the river, then put a hole in his chest. I met up with Mr. Chang and his translator after that. They wanted to take a tour of our meth lab. Sadly, Aztecas came to attack before the tour started. This mission was easier than convincing a kid to get into a van. Not like I've ever tried doing that or anything. Once the Aztecas were taken care of, I went back to Trevor's trailer where I discovered the bikers had trashed it. I went to a water tower near the airfield to snipe them. I arrived at night, which apparently wasn't the right time because the game made me wait until night again. After sniping 9 guys, I drove to the airfield, no-scoped some more, then hopped on Ron's wing. The game forces you to have an AK during this part. However, there is a glitch that allows you to have any weapon you want. I did that glitch and sniped everyone on my way to the plane. I was able to avoid killing the biker that jumps on your wing by staying low to the ground while he fell off. After dropping packages in the ocean, I met with Mr. Chang and his translator again. Turns out they couldn't stay loyal to me. Reminds me of my first wife, that fucking cheating whore. Anyway, they were working with the O'Neills, so I headed to their farm. Once I got there, I was able to snipe all the guys outside without being detected. That changed when I walked up to the house though. A few ran outside and got my health pretty low, but overall it wasn't too bad. I made my way to the basement, grabbed the gas can, and blew up their house. Speaking of blowing up houses, I went to the bikers camp after that and blew up their trailers. I made sure to take them all out beforehand since I didn't want to risk exploding anyone. While on the way to Los Santos to find Michael, I got distracted by a lady on the side of the road for reasons. After catching up with Michael, we go to intimidate Laszlo since he did this to Tracy. Once Laszlo was dealt with, I met with Dave. He convinced me to play dead by caving my skull in. When I woke up in the morgue, I choked one of the guys out and ran past everyone to get my guns. Once I made it upstairs, I took out everyone with my sniper and escaped through a window. Next, I had to rescue Mr. K from the IAA. After breaking in through a window, I switched to Franklin. He can snipe everyone for Michael except one guy who was barely out of sight. I started shooting through the wall, hoping there would be a slight gap that would allow a bullet through, but nothing came of that. Then I noticed you can see a slight amount of his gun when he first appears. After trying to shoot his gun for a while, I noticed there was a chair that could be moved. I started shooting it as Michael in hopes that I could push it over to the guy and force him to move into Franklin's line of sight. When I eventually got it to hit him, he didn't move a muscle. Great. Realizing I had wasted well over an hour trying to snipe this guy, I just shot him as Michael. With that finally done, I moved on to shooting down the helicopters and gave Mr. K to the FIB. Since the FIB still had me by the balls, I had to do another mission for them. Trevor tortures Mr. K for information about a guy they want dead. After getting enough information, I shot the guy. I must have been feeling like the British on April 13th, 1919 because I started firing into the crowd. Turns out killing civilians isn't a good thing and the mission failed. So I shot the guy again, then dropped Mr. K at the airport. Michael needed some downtime, so he did yoga with his wife and her boyfriend. Everything was going good until Fabian started dry humping Amanda. Thankfully, Jimmy gave Michael some drugs to take his mind off of it, but unfortunately, that caused his family to leave him. I switched to Franklin after that depressing mission. He went to a deal with Lamar and Stretch. It goes wrong, and we have to fight our way out of the factory. It would have been kinda awkward to scope in since this is such a close quarters mission, so the majority of people I just no-scoped. After getting out of the factory, I shot down the helicopter and got a car, which we used to lose the cops. Once that was done, I switched to Trevor and did one of the few missions in the game that has you work a 9 to 5. Trevor used it to gather information about a future heist, and after sacrificing Floyd to some Merryweather guys, the mission was complete. Wade with his 2 brain cells somehow located a submarine we needed. I grabbed it as Trevor and we were ready to start the heist. I dropped Franklin off at his vantage point and sniped some guards so Michael could get on the boat and plant the bombs. When he was finished, reinforcements arrived. I had to pick them off for Michael as he made his escape. I detonated the bombs and found what we were looking for in the wreckage. I picked it up as Trevor and delivered it to the dock where we got my absolute favorite camera angle in the whole game. After seeing those gorgeous cheeks, I went to Hood Safari. At the start, Trevor flirted with Aunt Denise. Actually, with him, it'd probably be considered harassment. Franklin, Trevor, and Lamar go to a drug deal. They end up getting scammed and have to shoot their way out. I American snipered my way through this mission. Well, technically African American snipered my way through since I was playing as Franklin. Franklin. The rest of this mission would have gone smoothly, but as I was making my escape, Franklin forgot how to climb ladders. When he finally remembered, I died shortly after to a cop with a shotgun. He was able to figure out ladders a lot sooner on my next attempt, which allowed me to escape the cops. Next, I met up with our FIB buddies. They want us to rob an armored truck for some bonds. After getting our outfits, along with the vehicles, I started the heist. Franklin rammed the tow truck into the armored truck, and after blowing the doors open, I executed the innocent workers. Police arrived and I started taking them out. Noose was eventually called in. I switched to the heavy sniper to get through their armor easier. I took out everyone else, then destroyed the garbage truck in 15 shots. After giving the bonds to Devin, I went to Lester's assassination mission. I arrived in the most inconspicuous vehicle I could think of. Unfortunately, it wouldn't start once the mission began, so I grabbed the next best thing. Since Rockstar hates me having any fun, my incredibly stealthy vehicle despawned when I got to the hotel. I put a bullet in my target, then started getting some cars for Devin. Something kinda weird happened after I shot Chad Mulligan. A Mustang with an open hood decided to ram into this guy and crush him to death. The driver didn't even use his car to escape, he just ran away. He must have been feeling like John Jones, except he didn't hit a pregnant lady or come back for his cocaine, allegedly. Anyway, I carefully delivered the car to Devin, then went to help out Solomon. I grabbed a suppressor for my sniper and took out the guards as I made my way to the actors. Once I was up there, Rocco came out. I beat his ass, maybe a little too hard because it seemed like he almost died at the end. I delivered the actors back to Solomon, then met up with Madrazo again. He wanted us to kill his cousin, so I shot down the cousin's plane, went to the crash site as Trevor, and killed him. When I went to destroy the van, it took 150 shots from my sniper, albeit part of the reason it took that many could have been because most of my shots were to the side, but still. While I was doing that, Trevor was kidnapping Madrazo's wife, which forced us to lie low in the desert. After that, I got another car for Devin as Franklin. One of the security guards who chased me got a little carried away and somehow flipped his car. I took them out, then called Michael. He explained what was happening with him and Trevor. That conversation led into minor turbulence. Trevor flies a crop duster into a Merryweather plane that's carrying a bunch of guns. Once on board, it was really easy to kill the guys since most of them were in a straight line. I shot the pilot, but it was too late. The plane was already having minor turbulence. Some jets showed up, shot the plane down, and I parachuted out of the back. Then Trevor, Michael, and Lester went to scout a bank in Paleto Bay. We triggered the alarm. I inconspicuously made my way over to the gas station where we saw the cops' response time. When we got back to Sandy Shores, Franklin called to say he was following some O'Neills. They crash and you have to pick them off while you're in a helicopter. Since my brain is rotting and this mission is so easy, I was scrolling TikTok during it.
Think you need millions. I'm off the deep end, watch as I dive in.
After sniping a couple O'Neills in the helicopter, Franklin takes the last one out on foot. After that, Michael grabs the military hardware we need for the Paleto score, and we begin the heist. As soon as we entered the bank, I shot all the hostages to be sure we would have no bargaining power with the police. I grabbed the money from the vault, and we started making our way through the cops. Funnily enough, the hardest part of this mission was trying to shoot down a fence with the sniper. We ended up causing so much chaos that the military was called in. Franklin decided a slow-ass bulldozer was a good vehicle for us to escape the military in. We didn't make it far and ended up fighting the army in a chicken factory. Luckily, a train was passing by, which we hopped on to escape. Next up was Derailed. Since I hate myself and didn't want this mission to be easy, I decided to no-scope only. The initial guys that showed up in boats didn't really give me any problems. I just got a little annoyed because sometimes I'd miss a bunch of close-range no-scopes.
Can one of these fucking hit? Oh my god.
Okay, maybe a lot annoyed. The thing that gave me the most trouble was the snipers that spawn, mainly because of how far away they were. There we go, there we go, there we go. After a while of failing and debating whether or not to allow myself to scope in, I finally managed to kill all the snipers, which causes 2 paratroopers to spawn. Let's go! Got that guy. If I die, I'm gonna be so pissed, as I almost die. My will to live was almost gone after that, but I pushed through and had an attempt where I was able to kill the boat guys and snipers very fast, which gave me a lot of time to shoot at the paratroopers. Please get lucky, just once. Yes! Come on, get him. Oh my god, let's go. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Let's go. Oh, Finally! Once I killed them, I dove headfirst into Michael's boat and we escaped using the river. Once I had some will to live again, I met up with Dave and Steve to break into the Humane Labs. When we arrived, I used a glitch that allows you to shoot through walls to progress a bit faster. I don't know what the scientist guarding the nerve agent is made out of, but he was able to take a bunch of shots. After grabbing the nerve agent, we took out some security and army guys, then loaded it onto a cargo bob. When I got to the airfield, I decided to hit Franklin with the container. He must have phased into it somehow because the crate got launched into the helicopter blades, some blood came out of it, and Franklin died right after. Trevor gave Madrazo his wife back, which meant him and Michael no longer needed to stay in hiding. We went to scope out the Union depository. Everything was going great until Lester decided to whine about looking into the construction hole.
Hover up, Bob, so I can shoot down into it. Okay, I'll get closer for you.
I went a little overboard with what Trevor said because I managed to get in the hole, which is something I couldn't even do with my ex, but she let everyone else inside her, and do you know what that did to me? I could. After chilling in there for a while, I somehow squeezed out and completed the mission. Michael was relaxing at his house when Trevor showed up and started yapping about wanting a gay friend.
We just get ourselves a gay friend. Bam! No.
Since Michael wasn't interested, Trevor ran off to North Yankton to find one. Michael followed him there, which ended with them pointing guns at each other. The triads show up and start attacking us. I ran this route, which avoids all of them. Michael made it to his car, but was kidnapped. We are switched to Trevor, where he did an accent that would definitely get him canceled in 2025.
I don't know what you can do about that.
After that, I delicately loaded up the final car we needed for Devon and started heading to the meeting point. Along the way, cops spot the stolen cars and begin chasing us. If you stop in front of the semi, it is pretty easy to hop out and kill them, or at least usually it's easy. The traffic had it out for me this run. Jesus Christ. What are you? Why are they trying to kill me so much? Oh my. Once the traffic finally decided to calm down, we delivered the cars to Molly. Franklin then starts trying to find where Michael is. With the help of Lester, he locates Michael in a meatpacking plant that's guarded by triads. I was able to snipe a lot of them from across the street, then made my way in and killed the rest. Once I reached Michael, this mission became very boring. The only time in my life I was more bored was at my uncle's funeral. I was forced to hang upside down, doing absolutely nothing while Franklin took out the triads. After failing more times than I can remember, Franklin was finally able to get them all. Shout out to this guy for leaving a comment letting me know Franklin can actually kill these two. I switched to Franklin, sniped a couple guys, then got tackled. You are forced to shoot this guy with the pistol as Michael. After saving Franklin, we got out of the factory and headed to Michael's place. Michael went to the movie studio to check on Solomon. When he got there, he saw Rocco beating him up. I chased him until he was on a long stretch of road, hopped out, shot the driver, then shot him. Then I met up with my FIB buddies again. They want us to break in and delete some files for them. First, I followed a janitor home. I kicked open his door and he must have been going through something because he had no reaction. I grabbed his clothes, then went and got the architect's plans. Before I broke into the FIB, I had to get Michael's family back. After beating up the yoga instructor, I tried to steal a bus to save Tracy from Laszlo, but the bus driver fought back and ran over Jimmy. Only I get to inflict pain on my son, so I chased down the bus driver, got the bus, then saved Tracy. The heist starts off with the crew parachuting onto the roof and cutting open a window. I blew open the doors to the server room and started deleting the files. We have to take out some agents that tried to stop us. Once the files were gone, we made our way down the stairs, killed some more agents, then rappelled down the building. You have to shoot down a helicopter in this section, and in my infinite wisdom, I shot down the wrong one. I forced my tiny brain to work a bit harder and shot down the correct one. Then we escaped in an ambulance and celebrated at Franklin's place. After we got done celebrating, I headed to the movie studio where Devon was trying to cancel Michael's movie. Molly takes the only copy and speeds to the airport. I grabbed the absolute best vehicle for a high speed chase, the scooter. She was so intimidated by it, she wouldn't even stop for police. The police also told her the worst thing you can tell a woman when she needs to calm down, to calm down.
Please calm down.
No wonder she didn't stop for them. Eventually, she ran out of her car, but got too close to a jet engine and got turned into fruit punch. I escaped, then went to go meet with Dave. Steve also shows up to our meeting and ruins everything. He starts a massive shootout that eventually causes Michael to get pinned down by a buzzard. Reminds me of when I got pinned down by my grandpa and he Actually, never mind. The game switches you to Trevor, and you save Michael by sniping the pilot. Michael continues making his way through Noose and Merryweather. I was doing such a good job shooting these guys that my driving stat somehow increased. Eventually, I made it to the parking lot, grabbed a car to escape, then thanked Trevor for saving me. Speaking of saving people, Franklin got word that Lamar had been kidnapped and was being held at a sawmill. The boys showed up to help. This mission was a combination of staying back as Michael, picking off gangsters, and switching to Trevor for some close encounter situations. Once Lamar was safe at home and had bumped some money off of Franklin, it was time for Michael's movie premiere. Michael takes a limo to the red carpet with this disappointment of a son. When we get there, Devin shows up, mogs us both, and lets us know Merryweather was about to kill our family. I went back home and started saving the girls. I continued my tradition of accidentally killing Tracy before getting the guy holding her hostage. It was kinda tricky using the sniper at such close range. I even had to grab the health pack in the bathroom, but once I got outside, it was a bit easier with the longer distance. At the end of the mission, Jimmy became slightly less of a disappointment because he knocked out a Merryweather guy for Michael. After saving Michael's family, I moved on to something way more important, making money. I grabbed the vehicles we needed for the big score. When I went to get the spike strips, a cop used his phone to block my bullet, which increased his lifespan by about 3 seconds. I started the heist, and everything was going smooth until we left the bank with the gold. Somehow, Merryweather knew we took it and came faster than I did when I lost my virginity. Actually, who am I fooling? I'm clearly still a virgin. We were able to make it back to the homeless camp and start unloading the gold, but they found us and started attacking. I switched to the heavy sniper so I could kill them in one shot since they were wearing heavy armor. After successfully sending them to Valhalla, we got in the muscle cars and started making our getaway. Even though we were running from the cops, we still drove better than the average Mustang owner. We loaded the cars in semis and lost the cops. Once we made our escape, Franklin went home. Devin showed up and started talking about how Franklin should kill his friends, just like you should, right now. Kill your friends, make them suffer, they deserve it. So, my legal team has advised me to clarify this was 100% a joke and not serious in any way. I do not think you should harm your friends, nor am I responsible if you do. In fact, I think you should do what I did in this mission and protect your friends from people trying to hurt them. I grabbed Lamar, then met up at a foundry with Michael and Trevor. Everything was going fine until my dumbass decided to play in the molten metal. After that, I locked in to kill the Noose and Merryweather. Lamar needed help outside. While I was out there, Trevor went quiet, so I had to go check on him as Michael. Once I saved Trevor, we went outside and cleared out the rest of the guys. We still had to take out 4 people. First was Mr. Chang. I got to a mountainside vantage point so I could snipe him. When I scoped in, I couldn't remember what he looked like, so I just started sniping everyone I saw. Next was Stretch. In a similar fashion to Mr. Chang, I couldn't tell which one he was, so I just killed a bunch of people. To keep up the trend of murdering somewhat innocent bystanders, I shot Steve's cameraman too. Last up was Devin. I took out his Merryweather guards, and when I got near his hiding spot, I noticed his tablet. He was watching some really awful YouTube video. I yanked Devin out, took him to a cliff, and pushed him off with the help of Michael and Franklin. That brings us to the end of the game, where I had a total of 4 non-sniper kills. Don't forget to comment the next weapon you want to see. Other than that, I hope you guys have a good day. I'm gonna go rescue orphans and puppies. Nah, I'm joking. I'm gonna go get blackout drunk. Leave a like and subscribe. See ya.